Zeller, an independent distributor with Kyani. I, in 3 years, have achieved the rank of Blue Diamond. Let me tell you about one of Kyani's 3 products they call the Triangle of Health. It's called Sunset, Kyani Sunset. It's based on wild Alaskan sockeye salmon, so it's a very, very high quality omega-3 fish oil. And it's guaranteed to be free of toxic chemicals like cadmium, mercury, PCBs, all of which cause cancer. But this is guaranteed to be mercury-free. What makes this product a breakthrough in human health product, though, are the vitamin E tocotrienols that it's preserved by. And these tocotrienols, if you even go to PubMed.gov, Public Medicine, the U.S. National Medical Library online, put in the search box tocotrienols, and you will see that if it's not talking about cardiovascular health, brain health, it's talking about being anti-tumor, anti-cancer. This product is a breakthrough in human health.
Thank you, Mary Louise Zeller. We really appreciate you talking about Kyani. She is a world champion, 20-time national gold medalist in Taekwondo and a 9 times gold medalist internationally. And she's been on Kyani for about a little over 3 years, and it has changed everything about her game of Taekwondo. And we love her. Thank you, Mary Louise, for that. I'm Pat Sheranian, and thank you for joining my show today. My guest is Lawrence Law. Lawrence has been on with me before. We got him back, thank goodness, because we're all suffering the same problem during this particular season, if not before and after. We know we're into it right now. So we're going to talk about debt repair, credit repair. We're going to repair ourselves, hopefully, by the time we're through here. And I want to do a shout out to a longtime friend. I'm wearing a pin that she gave me in about 1970-something when we were both living in Newport Beach. And she had made these. And I don't know if you can see, but they're cut out and pasted over and pasted over and pasted over. And it's just a darling little pen. And she made up a bunch of these. And my son, who is now vice president of a corporation, started his sales career when he was 7 years old, selling her pens from door to door at Christmas time. So Diane, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Okay, let's talk right away about you, because some of our folks don't know you that are on KHQN 1480 AM. or on pat.utahvalleylive.com. So let's tell them, well, almost everything about you. First of all, we'll start with he's got on a red tie and a maroon shirt, and I'm having trouble with that, so I wondered if he was colorblind, but I love the tie. Totally love the tie.
It's a Christmas tie.
It is a Christmas tie. It's certainly...
Well, I believe in celebrating Christmas.
Regardless of the color of the
regardless
shirt.
of any color or anything. You see people wearing Santa hats.
Strange things. That's
Sure.
Yesterday, grown men wearing Santa hats all over town. Okay.
Absolutely. Normally I wear my Santa socks.
Oh,
but
please don't tell me. That's more than I want to know. All right, Lawrence Law, I have known for some years now, and I trust him completely because I've worked with him, and I know how ethical he is. And so when I realized that I had been carrying a debt for over 10 years, it was simply paying interest. And it wasn't my debt to start with, but because I was running a company, I wound up with it. And the way things that I'm more careful now about what I sign. I don't sign anything. Still, I take it and put it in front of an attorney. But I got stuck with about $25,000 worth of debt. And having known Lawrence for some time through another company, we sat one day and he told me what he was doing, and I just leaped at the chance and opportunity to have him clear up my situation. And yesterday I talked to the folks in Florida, the attorneys and so forth, and I'm almost through. I'd forgotten I signed up last December. So I've only got about 4 more months, and I'm done with this thing, and it's paid off, and they saved me $7,000 of that $25,000. So
That's awesome.
They paid off everything. They dealt with the telephone calls, they dealt with the letters, they dealt with the whole thing. And they're going to repair all of my credit, which has had a problem while I was paying that off, get me back up closer to 8. And then I'm going to be ready to use credit cards again. No, I'm not going to use credit cards again. But I don't tear them up, and I don't close them. I learned you don't close them and you don't start new ones. So
Absolutely.
It has really helped to go through some of these hours with Lawrence, because I actually paid attention, and am going to be really in good shape come the spring. So I invited him to tell our listening audience about his company and actually what I got involved in. It's sort of like starting a car. Just give me the keys. I don't want to know what's under the engine. And I'm sort of that way about the finance business when it comes to credit and debt and so forth. So I just tell me how, what do I need to do? But today I want him to share with us, and he will be coming back in January. He'll be coming on every Wednesday through January. We hope February, March, and April. He's got several companies that are doing really fine, so we're going to be talking a little bit about another company also. But let's give you who you are. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Santa Ana, Orange County, California, raised in Canada, and lived all over the western United States.
Had to keep leaving town, huh?
No, my family would move, and it took me a couple months, but I'd find them again. And
now it starts with the coughing because I shouldn't laugh. Okay.
But I love Utah and the mountains and this weather and just everything. If you don't like Utah weather, just wait around 5 minutes. It'll change.
About 5 minutes, it will change. I looked out the window this morning and I thought, I'm going to be freezing, so I've got on layers and then a layer over this, and because I thought it's going to be freezing out there because it was like 13 or something yesterday. And by the time I fiddled around and made phone calls and emails and what have you, the sunshine was out, the overcast was gone, the snow had stopped, the streets were clear, and I thought, when did that happen? It was about an hour and a half, and it totally changed.
Absolutely, that's Utah.
Oh, so we may get more snow tonight, some real snow tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if my prayers are answered, it will all stop right at the foothills in Provo and not come down the hill any further. So that won't happen. All right, so then you landed in Provo. Why?
Just because we like the area, and so Provo is a beautiful place. Utah County is a beautiful place. Right next to the mountains, you've got water, and you've got skiing, and you've got hunting and fishing. You've got just everything. It's a beautiful place.
Julia Curry was on with us Monday, and she gives events and things that are going, which I don't think we got to on Monday. We were having so much fun. But she had a thing in some statistics that she had found, and Utah has just been rated the 8th best place to move in America.
That happens regularly.
It does.
Specific cities,
we're in 10. We're the
counties.
top 10 all the time.
Absolutely.
Utah County is the best place to start a new business.
But don't tell anybody.
No, pay attention. Don't tell anybody. It's the best place to start a new business. Housing is affordable. Mm-hmm. Not everybody has had to. In fact, very few houses, if you drive up and down the streets, are empty and falling down. We don't have that going on.
That's right.
And all of Utah County is, people are constantly opening new business, starting new things, and I get some of them on the air with me, and it's really fun because a lot of creative people will risk. They will risk starting a new company.
That's true.
So did anybody come see you when you opened your doors?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot of people that need some help. The last 4 years have been very trying for a lot of people. The economy has just beat them down. They've a lot of investors who had money in land where the housing bubble crashed, popped, whatever you want to call it. There are people who have gotten caught by the new banking laws and the new bankruptcy laws and the new credit card laws. And all of these new laws have just put people into a tailspin. And you kind of get an idea of where the problem is really stemming from. I won't say anymore.
And we didn't always create our own problem that way.
That's correct. That's something that we need to talk about because a lot of people blame themselves. Oh, I put myself into this situation. Well,
because the credit card tells you, the people where you owe money, your bank tells you, your older siblings tell you, your parents, they tell you.
Well,
it's your fault you did this.
Let me explain what happened about 3 years ago when the economy started to crash and the credit card companies, where you had a nice credit card and you were using the balance to build your business, you had a high balance, but you had a very low interest rate. And then the credit card companies started to get really tight with their funding, and the interest rates zoomed up. I mean,
I know.
you might have had
That's what I was trying to pay off.
a 4% or a 7% interest rate, and then all of a sudden you had a 19 or a 29% interest rate, and you can't afford to pay it. The interest is too much, and the combination just put a lot of people into a tailspin. And so it wasn't necessarily, yes, you had too much of a balance, and I'll tell you that straight up. You don't want a large balance on any credit card. It's an emergency situation or a way to, it's a tool. But if you...
Well, most people use it to keep track of what they're spending.
That's
Literally,
another way to do it.
rather than opening your checkbook and writing it in or just not doing anything.
As long as you have the money in your checkbook, that's a good plan.
Well, see, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works typically.
We forgot to introduce the name of the company, so let's back up here a little bit. Lawrence Law owns Vantage Credit Alliance. It is a credit repair service by attorneys. And we're going to go through some of the steps that are really their top 10 secrets, credit secrets, and they've nailed them. And I know you see these ads all the time on television that they can do this credit repair for you. And I don't know how legit some of those are because I don't know the people involved. But I do know Lawrence, and he can be reached by telephone from anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. And the people that he works with actually have been for how many years, I don't know, the attorneys down in Florida. And I've spoken to several of them.
Sure, and they do it exclusively, so it's
That's
all the
they
time
do.
that they've been...
year-round, they didn't just open to get money for a vacation next summer.
No, these are gentlemen who are well accredited in their communities and incredible experience with credit repair law. That's all they do.
Well, you had a background in finance, and then you got to this point. How long have you been working? Is it 13 years or something you've been in this business?
18 years now.
18 years.
Absolutely.
You're getting old, boy.
No.
Well, that's a good track record because I know you've been successful at this. And I just thought it was a wonderful opportunity to have you come in. So, all right, let's jump back into it. So there are things that we get blamed for as individuals regarding our credit that we actually did not create. So let's talk about that since we started into it, because I got rid of a lot of guilt after visiting with Lawrence, because what happened to me was not all of my doing. I think the worst part was I didn't have any understanding of what had happened.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think it's a shared guilt type of a situation. People do put themselves in precarious situations. If you have too big of a balance, that's going to be your fault, your problem. Okay? But as quickly as you can reduce that balance, you're in a good, you can put yourself back into a good position. However, the interest rate, where you have a situation where the credit card companies increase your interest rate just willy-nilly. I mean, across the board. Every credit card company was...
No notice.
No notice. And so new laws were put into place very quickly by Congress that said, wait a minute, you can't do it that quickly. You can't do what really damages people like that, because it really puts a huge damage on
terrible.
people. It can put them into a financial tailspin. There's, of course, things that you do have consequences, flat out. I mean, you have to live with that, okay? But we understand that the economy... Your fault. And the economy does come along, and it does cause problems for people. People who have invested in houses, and now the housing bubble pops. That's a situation that the economy caused that kind of a situation. And if you were savvy enough, you saw the warning signs and got out, but if you're inexperienced, you lost everything. And here's another situation. A whole industry that shut down, the construction industry. Well, that wasn't any cause of theirs. I mean, they were huge,
right.
Many construction companies were out there doing an excellent job, and then no business. That wasn't their fault that it happened. And so things like that do happen. What you have to do is prepare and plan ahead.
Okay.
And you plan ahead by having a good credit score. You plan ahead by having some savings. You've got to have savings. Emergency savings, backup savings, catastrophic savings. You've got to have insurance policies to protect yourself, and having a savings plan is like an insurance policy for the future.
I heard on the TV this morning a news report that if you want to start saving for retirement when you're in your 20s, then you need to put 10% of your money away each month. Whatever you make, you want to put 10% away. If you're in 35 to about 55, you need to put 15% away. If you haven't done anything by the time you're 55, now you're in real trouble. You better go find another
100%
job.
away.
Yeah. If you're going to have any kind of savings for retirement.
Well, you know, the nice thing about that, Pat, is that as you get older, typically your income increases. And so as you go along, you can actually make up for some of that loss if you recognize that you've got to prepare for your retirement and put away that savings. And so some of us are a little bit older in life, and we've enjoyed life a little bit too much, and now we have to quickly, put money away into retirement savings.
Well, and there are cases where people have taken on a second job just for that reason, so that one day they can be able to put their feet up and rock in a rocking chair down by the ocean.
Or even a second business.
Maybe starting a second business.
A home-based business is an excellent opportunity to be able to do that.
And we're going to talk about a home-based business.
I hope we do, because it's. Let me just throw this out.
Okay.
You know the number one cause for bad credit? Bad cash flow. Not enough money to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And if you have a need for, if you've got a good job and it's just not paying enough, then you need to get a second source of income. What do you do for that?
Well, one of the things that many of us have done, and of course the Cayenne that they heard at the top of the hour, that is a second income for me, and hopefully it will be a first one day. But it is network marketing, which I've been involved in since I was a teenager. I like network marketing. You have to work. It's not.
You're in good company.
Well, I know you like network. We've talked about this, but
not only me.
A lot of people have. But here's the tricky part that people don't understand about home businesses, and we look at network marketing because we know people that have failed and failed and failed and failed, and there really is one reason, and you have to work. You have to treat a home business just like you do if you get up and go to an office from 8 to 5. And if you don't, then you're not going to succeed unless you find something that is a vehicle that will do it all for you.
Well, absolutely. Well, here's another
there's
thing.
Your segue.
Here's another thought to think about, and that is, they tell us that you don't have to just work harder; you have to work smarter. And we're going to talk about working smarter, because if you have the wrong company and you work really, really hard at it,
this is true.
It does not work for you.
This is fair.
In fact, the home-based business industry is a 97% failure rate. That's catastrophic. That's just disheartening.
Cayenne has done better, I have to tell you, because I've been very involved on all sides of this thing. And they just happened to have a lot of money behind them when they started the business. They have great products, and they have great management and people that really care. They didn't have to do this, and they didn't plan to do it for overnight. They planned to do it forever. So that makes a difference. But so that Lawrence can get to his point here, because I've gotten involved with him with another business also, and this thing is going to be amazing.
Oh, it is amazing. There are exceptions to the rule, and that's what you've got to do your due diligence for and find. Kiani is a prime example of that. But I've been in network marketing, home-based business, referral marketing as a second entrepreneurial business all of my life. I mean, 35, 40 years of my business life, I have been involved in this because of looking for, I've always wanted to be my own boss, number one. I've always wanted to get a check in the mail multiple times, and week after week.
Residual income, right? Everybody wants residual income.
Where I have done the work and built a program, and then it continues to feed a commission check to me on a regular basis.
But doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't always work, and this is where a typical network marketing fails, or a typical home-based business fails. or even an internet business will fail because unless you have the right criteria, it just doesn't work for you.
Okay, we need to go back and tie in the credit repair
Right.
with this company and how to get that cash flow.
Well, let me just explain a little bit about the credit repair. First of all, we are credit repair by attorneys, which means that our attorneys use the credit repair laws, the Fair Debt Collection Protection Act, the I just went blank. But anyway, there's 7 sets of laws on the books that are your protection. They help you deal with your debt, deal with your credit, deal with all of these things. And they were put in place so that you could actually have a benefit to you. So our attorneys use those laws in attacking the credit bureaus to verify the information as per the laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which they don't do. They flat out don't do it. They refuse.
And we don't know to do it.
We
Or
don't
could
know
we?
individually. We don't know enough
Right.
about it to attack them in a way that will actually get your credit in the way that it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay, so we know some statistics. 79% of all credit reports have negative information on them that's not theirs. 49%.
I want you to know that's very disconcerting, is to get that report, you ask for the report.
Absolutely.
And they've got you living at a place not only have you never heard of, but you've never even driven through the town. And they've got the address and a phone number. It's not yours. And that's very disconcerting.
And
They've got department stores that you've never heard of before.
You have accounts on there that you've never done. You have collections on there or any other bad information. And 49% have negative information that impacts their credit score dramatically and puts them out of the game. Let's talk about the credit score that you need to have. You need to have a 740 credit score just to get the best interest rates. That's up 40 points from 5 years ago. And that's, huge difference. It put many people totally out of the game. You need a 760 credit score to get the best insurance rates. Insurance can cost double, triple, quadruple, or even they will refuse to insure you if you have a low enough credit score. So that puts you out of the game again. And all of these things will increase your costs. It will increase your interest, your insurance, the way that you buy a home, the way that you buy a car, the way that you buy furniture. All of these things totally put you out of the game. Let's say you want to go investing. Well, you're out of the game.
You're out of the game.
Okay, so there are some parameters that you've got to get to, some basic knowledge that you need to have. If you have an understanding of this, then you can stop making the 100-point mistakes. And that's our credit education that we teach people. We give people